she's a gold digger. You've heard it whispered. You've seen it shouted in comment sections. It's an easy label, right? A simple judgment for a complex behavior. Society often shames women for picking a partner with a stable bank account over a charming but broke artist. It's painted as a moral failing, a shallow chase for stuff over a real connection. But what if that judgment is missing the point entirely? What if that magnetic pull toward a man who can provide isn't a character flaw, but a survival code that has been written into our DNA over millions of years? What if this has less to do with luxury handbags and more to do with the brutal, cold logic of evolution? The science here is compelling. For one of the most critical decisions in a woman's life, choosing a long-term partner, it's not about gold digging, it's about biology. And this primal instinct is influencing every swipe, every date, and every relationship in the modern world more than you can possibly imagine. So today, let's put feelings and modern dating advice aside for a minute. We're going to look at the hidden evolutionary blueprint that helps shape female desire. We'll explore the deep-seated biological reasons why financial stability isn't just attractive, but can often feel like a non-negotiable for women seeking a lifelong partner. Understanding this is key to making sense of the chaos and frustration in today's dating world. To get what's happening now, we have to go way back. For our ancestors on the savannah, life was a constant, brutal struggle. And for a woman, the single most vulnerable and biologically costly period was pregnancy and raising a child. This isn't a social construct, it's a biological fact. Evolutionarily speaking, the minimum parental investment for a male can be trivial. For a female, it's a 9-month pregnancy, the dangers of childbirth, and years of dependency while nurturing a defenseless infant. This profound difference in investment is a key driver of how we choose our mates. It's the core of what evolutionary biologists call parental investment theory. The sex that invests more in their offspring is, by necessity, going to be more selective about their partners. It's a high-stakes bet. And evolution favored the women who made that bet very, very carefully. In that ancestral world, a man's ability to provide resources, food, shelter, and protection wasn't a luxury. It was the greatest predictor of her survival, and crucially, the survival of her children. A man who could reliably hunt and protect his territory was a man whose children were more likely to survive. A charming, handsome man who couldn't provide was a potential genetic dead end. This created intense selective pressure. Over countless generations, a powerful preference was encoded in the female brain. A deep, instinctual attraction to men who demonstrate the ability and willingness to acquire resources. This isn't a conscious checklist. It's a gut feeling that registers stability and competence as profoundly attractive. This preference is most pronounced when women consider a long-term partner because that's where the investment is highest. But here's where it gets more sophisticated than just man has money. A huge mistake is focusing only on the cash itself. The money, the status, that's not the ultimate prize. It's a signal. It's a modern and fairly reliable sign of underlying traits that have always been essential for survival. Intelligence, industriousness, emotional stability, and ambition. Think about it. In our complex world, building wealth requires foresight, discipline, and navigating social hierarchies. These are all functions of a high-functioning brain. A man who has built a successful career is demonstrating in a very real way that he has these valuable cognitive traits. This is why some research suggests women are more drawn to men who have earned their wealth, rather than those who simply inherited it or won the lottery. Why? Because earned success signals a repeatable skill. It shows he has the smarts and the drive to build something, which means he could likely do it again if he lost it all. Inherited wealth, on the other hand, doesn't tell you much about his capabilities, only his ancestors. So, when a woman feels an attraction to a man's success, she's not just seeing dollar signs. Her ancient instincts are detecting a proxy for high-quality genes. She is seeing a man who has the intelligence and discipline to create security, traits that are invaluable to pass on to the next generation. The third piece of this puzzle is an instinct for future security. The female brain isn't just assessing a man's present value, it's constantly running simulations on his future potential. Raising a human child isn't a short-term project. It's a multi-decade investment. A partner's long-term stability isn't a bonus. It's a prerequisite for a secure environment. This is where traits like dependability and emotional stability become so attractive. They signal that a man isn't just a provider for today, but a reliable partner for tomorrow. His ambition isn't just about his current success. It's a promise of future growth. A man who demonstrates these qualities offers something more valuable than money: peace of mind. This biological imperative is so strong that numerous studies show that even as women become more financially successful themselves, their preference for a partner with resources often persists. You might think a woman with her own money wouldn't need a provider, but that misunderstands the instinct. It isn't just about need, it's about optimization. From an evolutionary standpoint, two sets of resources are better than one. It creates a stronger buffer against uncertainty and a better launchpad for offspring. So, this ancient wiring is powerful. But what happens when you drop it into the chaos of modern dating? We'll get into that in a second. First, if this is clicking for you, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. And let us know in the comments. Which of these drivers, survival, competence, or future security, do you see playing out most clearly in the dating world today? Our world today looks nothing like the savannah. But we're all walking around with the same ancient brain. And that's where things get messy. Our instincts are now navigating a digital landscape of dating apps and social media, an environment they were never built for. This mismatch creates confusion and frustration. Dating apps can act as a short circuit for these hardwired preferences. A man doesn't have to demonstrate competence over years. He can curate an Instagram profile that signals immense status. These digital signals can hijack the brain's ancient evaluation system, which was designed to equate such displays with genuine ability. This has also created a very unequal dating economy on some platforms. Data from apps like Hinge suggests that women, on average, tend to rate a much smaller percentage of male profiles as attractive, creating intense competition for the men at the top who are perceived to have the highest status. At the same time, modern society adds its own pressures. Despite progress, women can still face economic disadvantages, like pay gaps and career interruptions for having children, making a partner's financial stability not just an evolutionary echo, but a practical concern. Research has even shown that the tendency for people to marry those with similar education and income levels, a trend amplified by dating apps, is a contributing factor to rising household income inequality. So let's circle back. When we see a woman drawn to a man with financial stability, what are we really looking at? A shallow gold digger or a complex, deeply ingrained survival strategy at work. The evidence from evolutionary psychology is compelling. This preference appears to be a legacy from our past, when a man's ability to provide was directly tied to his family's survival. It's a sophisticated mechanism that uses wealth not as an end in itself, but as a powerful signal of competence, intelligence, and ambition. And it's a future-oriented instinct, designed to secure a stable environment for raising the next generation. Understanding this isn't an excuse for anyone's behavior. It's a tool for empathy. Men's frustration with these preferences and women's powerful drive toward them are two sides of the same evolutionary coin. To deny this instinct is to deny a fundamental part of our programming. But to understand it is to gain a map to a complex territory. By recognizing the why behind attraction, both men and women can navigate the modern dating world not with judgment and confusion, but with more clarity, more empathy, and ultimately more success.